Hello and welcome everybody to Chalkcast episode number 27. I'm joined by my co-hosts CJCJ and Johnnyboi and our special guest Retals tonight. Retals actually recently had a closed qualifier that he had to play in, and I'm just curious how that went for you. How was that whole experience?
It was good. It was good. We were in AJ's words, we were in the G League for a night. It was a fun time. It's never fun being in the trenches like that, but we got it done pretty easily, thankfully, in 3 series. If I went to round 4 or 5, it would have gotten a little dicey, but it was good. It was some.
How you said it was kind of new for you to do that. How was the prep like for that tournament?
It was grinding. Obviously, like there's no, you can do bad in a regional, you can mess up in a playoff. If you lose in a closed qualifier with with how invested Optic is, and like that just wasn't a possibility. So we were grinding really hard. I'm actually on the highest hours I've been in like probably 2 years. So
is that helping you gameplay?
Yeah, I think so. I think I played pretty well this closed qualifier. I was satisfied with it. The tiebreaker I played awful, and I mean Magic Bear caught a lot of flack for that he shouldn't have, because I was by far a worse player. But I'm gonna try and not let that happen again.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. Obviously, that happened this week, didn't it? The tiebreaker. I'm actually
Tuesday.
Everything's blurring together. Because there's so much Rocket League all of a sudden again. But yeah, that was okay. So we didn't talk about that last time you were on the show. Tiebreaker. You played just the one series, right?
Yeah, just Furia.
Did you expect it to be Furia? I don't think many people expected it to be Furia against you guys, but most people thought it was going to be.
I did. I expected it to be Furia.
Okay.
I haven't. That team's interesting. They're they're one of the most talented teams in the game, but they're very unorganized, and that complexity team has been grinding. So I expected to play them, but just didn't prepare well enough individually.
Do you think complexity have been underperforming? Like everyone says in streams, they're absolute freaks. Could be higher. Should be higher. Not really.
I think there are certain players on that team that underperform, but I think
certain players, he says. That means one person.
We're not going to go into detail, but I will go into detail with. I think Rizzo is one of the most underrated players in the game. He's disgusting, but I think they let the pressure get to him a little bit.
So by process elimination, we can identify Retals as both CRR and AJG need to stop choking.
They know who they are, man. They know who they are.
Yeah, we know. So Rizzo, you had a qualifier as well, not quite as closed as Retals' qualifier that he played in. But I had a great time watching it. I really enjoyed it. I was tuning in to see the run, as I'm sure everyone here was. But now that you've had a few days to digest that experience, what are your post-quals thoughts?
I'm out the league forever. I ain't playing again. Those are my final.
You're never
thoughts.
playing again.
Really?
I might do it for like
a content team.
I'm thinking like once a split. I actually explained this at the end of the stream. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. So yeah, I played an open quals with Peep and Lunar, and one of the reasons I really wanted to play with them is because I knew that there's a chance that they could carry me. There is
actually get it.
Yeah, to actually get in. And I think that's also why just like a bunch of people watch in general is because they're like, oh my god, he's with Lunar and Peep. But if I did a content team, I don't think it would have that same reaction of, oh my god, this guy actually has a chance. It's like the difference between this is for fun and this is like there's actually a slight chance he somehow makes it.
I think if you got like Leth and then a hard carry, like it'd be possible. Like, I think it'd be fun. I don't know. Maybe
it could be a different kind of fun. I mean, way back in the day, the qualifiers for RLCS were way more. I don't even know if it was. Maybe there was just more signups back then. But I feel like I played a few of the RLCS qualifiers back in the day, absolutely knowing that there's no chance that we make it in. Like honestly, just getting to day 2 back then was like was a win. That was like a win.
Yeah, there were like thousands of teams in those.
Yeah, there was thousands of teams, but you could legitimately like go on a little run, winning 4 or 5 series in a row against like you'd start off against some silvers, and you play some plats, and you play like a diamond team, and then you got a close match, and then you get a really tough match after that as like a low level content creator like myself. But there was a famous F2 run that was getting a ton of attention. They obviously weren't going to qualify, but so many people were hyped to watch that, and you could definitely do better than they did.
I actually went back and looked at their thing. They were 2 rounds away from making an RLCS, the same exact placement that we got now. They were 2,
yeah, because so many teams were qualifying,
wins,
right?
Yeah. If we no, it was like the 8-team season, 16-team seasons or whatever. But yeah, I went back and looked. If they won 2 more rounds and losers, they would have made it. Same thing with us. If we won 2 more series, we would have made it. So we actually got like the same placement as F2 did like 5 years ago.
No way.
Yeah.
So when you say that they're 2 rounds away, they're 2 rounds away from making what exactly? Like what if they won 2 more?
Making RLCS. I guess
it would have been an RLCS.
Yeah, I would have made close quals, but they would have made RLCS.
That's so crazy. Huh. That's crazy. That actually is insane. Was there just like no teams back then in the NA like bubble? Was it just empty? The bubble had.
I'm trying to think, because that's what, like season 3?
3, I think, ish.
Yeah.
Right about season 3. That's.
Dude, I was 13 years old at season 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so the entire bubble scene was like not old enough
too young,
because
I'm closer to the old guard now. But
yeah, you're like, go John Sandman, go John Sandman. Were you watching him?
No. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's watching the run.
Season 4 was my first event like that I went to, and I remember me and Mist went together because we were boys on Xbox, and he was 13, I was 14.
Oh wow, you were the mature one.
I was. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Taking
me and
the
Mist, I've always
the
been the mature one on Mist.
But you don't want to do something like that, Rizzo, or CJ? Have you thought about this as well? To go for a content team, because I feel like if I do that, it's just going to be round 1 loss. Like I feel like the qualifiers are so much more stacked than they used to be. I would just.
Are
be like
we legally able to do that?
I don't think so actually for us, but would you want to? Is what I'm saying. Would you be interested in doing like a contenty run? Is that because Rizzo's not that interested? But I feel like people would watch it. You said the reason that you don't want to do it is you don't think people would want to watch. I think people would want to watch.
I think, bro, you saw how many viewers you got this time. Like even I don't think it would change much with like a less competitive team. Like people just want to watch you compete.
Let me get straight, Rizzo. Like you don't want to do it again because you think you're not going to get that good of a team again, or you don't want to do it again because you're like, all right, that wasn't that fun. Okay,
it was the actual like game days, except for the waiting, of course, was fun. Like actually in the matches was fun. Scrims were pretty fun for the most part too, but then like every time I'm like, oh, I should play some Rocket League.
Scrims suck, dude. You can be honest. Scrims suck. They suck at every level.
He streamed them and they were kind of contenty. I think.
Yeah. Because I streamed them, I think they were a bit more fun. Chat was like interactive with it, and then like. Okay. Like obviously it wasn't like the super serious thing, so they weren't like emo if we got scored on or something random like that. Like it was a very fun environment.
Super passive aggressive, like I just thought you had a better touchdown.
I thought you had that.
I really thought, just my bad. I thought you were gonna hit that one.
Yeah, no, we didn't have anything like that, so it was really fun. We would just like laugh at mistakes and stuff. So yeah, like I said, that was fun. But like every time I had the thought of like, I should get some grind and I should get some practice, like play some rank 2s. That was the most miserable experience ever. It's like I didn't want to even like have the obligation or even feel the obligation of having to play any sort of rank to like do well in the qualifiers, I guess. And I know I don't have to have that, right? I could just completely ignore that sort of thing, but I did want to do well besides the game 2 incident. But like besides that, like
I saw that, Rizzo. I did see
yeah,
that.
You told me. I heard the streets were talking about that.
The game 2 is legendary. Honestly, I've got to applaud you for that open net miss. It was the stuff of legends. It was
well, I wouldn't say open net miss. It was a tough angle. It was a really tough angle.
You got a mad angle.
Was it a tough angle? Was it though?
It was a tough. I had to hit it around the defender, and I just hit it a little wide, just a little bit.
I think.
See, we call that putting it out for a throw-in in football. You were on the goal line, and you managed to put it out for a throw-in, which is honestly quite impressive. It was very. Very good content.
Whatever it's considered. Okay. All I have to say is I had a lot of fun, and I think there's also a little bit of like I don't really know the word for it, but there's some value in like if I played in every qualifier, it wouldn't feel the same. But if I did do maybe like a split or something, it would feel a little bit more special, or like just play in the first open or something like that. Because if I played in every one, people would just know, they would expect it. But unretiring for a 3rd time at a random time frame, and then unretiring for a 4th time at a random time frame would be the play to me.
That's what I was gonna say with CJ. Like if CJ unretires and does a content run, he's actually probably making like top 8 in OCE.
I might accidentally win a regional.
He might accidentally qualify.
he might come back on accident.
No, I would love to see a Rizzo John Sandman plus one other bad player. No offense, John. I'm the same level of bad myself. Yeah, I would love to see that because you could be the hard carry and just try and get through round 1 uppers, round 2 lowers. Try, just see if you can go even. 2 for 2 because you're in a double elim, so you got 2 lives. If you win 2, that's 50-50. That's pretty good. That's a breaking even in the quals. I would love to see it. Even though it would be very different than this run you had, which is pretty close to actually qualifying.
CJ, hypothetically, if I went to Oceania for like a 2-week period, maybe sometime in like 3 months during the open qualifier, do you think we could make it?
I'm in. I think we can definitely make a regional.
I'm 16.
100%. Oh, easily. No, we'll easily make a regional. You've seen this, like the octane stats I get in quals? Easy.
Yeah, CJ was a stat monster.
There you go. You got Yummies. You got your third.
I was getting 2.0 ratings in the qualifiers. Top 32.
That would be content. Yeah,
I might come back to OC. Yeah.
Come back to OC. Let's get Forky back down here as well, so we can finally make a regional.
Yeah.
So don't you need a permanent residence to play it? So you're gonna need to like move there for like a while, or like get some guide.
I think you're a bit airy fairy on that. I think if you just you're over there. I think
you just don't tell them too much info. You just keep it on the down low, and I think
we'll ask for forgiveness. Like, what's the worst they're gonna do? Ban us?
What are they gonna say? I can't.
Because now I'm thinking, like, could you imagine, like, future Rocket League? This gets way bigger, and the format's still the same. Could you imagine a North American team like just goes to Japan like once every 2 weeks, plays the regional, goes back home? It's like, yeah, I'm from APAC now. This is my region.
That was the criticism with James Cheese, and that was the line that they were being careful not to cross the wrong direction of when they went to APAC this time. Because if you just like flew out.
Well, they're living there, but I'm saying like, how bendable are these rules? Like, can we get Shockcast at land?
What's living there? What does that mean? They just temporarily.
Are they there?
Obviously, going to Asia is pretty far away. Like, that's really far for anyone in NA or EU to go to. To go to where all the servers are that the matches are played on, which is probably the biggest difficulty. Because if you just had to actually get into Asia, like certain parts of Europe are actually right beside Asia, so you could be in Asia with like a very, very short journey. But yeah, you'd be far away from the. I think they play on what servers do they play on in Asia? Somebody probably can tell me in chat. You'd probably be quite far away from those.
I think it's southeast. I'm pretty sure it's Asia southeast, so I don't know. I don't think you would ping very well.
Southeast mainland. So that's going to be. You need to be basically there if you want to have good ping to that. So that's the issue or the tricky part. You can't just like have a short back and forth miniature flight from a different region. That's. I
mean, just take a 36-hour flight every other weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough one.
Speaking of though. Elevate. We want to cover that really quick.
We might as well just jump straight to that. We were going to come to it later, but since we bring it up.
Loss. That's a tough loss. It wasn't even finals, right? It was semis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they lost in semis to Detonator. So for those who a bit of I'm not going to give them any copium, but they're currently signed with Elevate. They're living in Bangkok, or at least Kami and Virtuoso. They only got in a few days ago. They got in on Thursday, I want to say, last Thursday. Mm-hmm. And they're currently. I got an interesting message from Kami afterwards saying that they're running on i3 computers. I'll let you have that. But apparently they didn't have the best setup for that weekend, so they're running on some Intel
i3s.
They're on some Intel i3s with
not even Pentium 4
integrated graphics.
Yeah, they were
like a 740 graphics card.
They had about 4 frames, so I don't think you would have seen the peak Elevate. Having said that, if you watch the series, Detonator was popping off like that. McCann was scoring ground pinches and stuff. But
if we rewind a little bit, i3 is insane because. In 2016, I got my first computer, which was an i5 1050. It cost $500. And that got dude, I would only. That's why I became a ones main because my frames in threes were awful. That's in an i5, dude. What are you getting on an i3?
An i3.
It's gonna be 60 frames. You're playing on PS4 basically.
They're turning down the graphics way down. They're like, all these quality settings, don't need those. Let's diminish this. Let's get the game looking as grainy as possible. I didn't know that, but that makes me a little bit less proud of my prediction that they are going to lose at some point this season. I don't know. Does that not count then? I think I'm claiming it. I think it still counts.
I think it counts. Oh, they lost. It definitely counts. But
We
they obviously weren't at their best. They didn't have the best.
Yeah.
But I think they're working on getting some new PCs and stuff. So they'll be good next regional. I'm expecting them to win. But yeah, it was rough.
We've got to call out. I think it was apparently Jack and Rise. We had them on the show, and they said that there's no way that they lose a series all season. James Cheese and now Elevate. No way they're going to lose. So yeah, apparently Jack and Rise need to work on that. Also, I think you guys sided with them as well, Rizzo and CJ.
I don't think so. I wouldn't be that stupid to say such a thing.
No. I said they'll lose a game. They'll lose a series.
A game or a series is a big.
I think I said they'll lose a series. Someone check the VODs.
Okay. We need to fact check that one on the Spotify.
I said it's a long. They're going to lose one. I think I said they're going to lose one.
If they were eliminated in third and fourth, what do they need to actually make the major?
If they still win the next two, they're guaranteed at least a tiebreaker for the major, for the number one.
Guaranteed a tiebreaker. Is that like if Detonator gets second every single time?
Second, yep. And Elevate first. They got a tiebreaker.
That is at least crazy.
Probably at least a tiebreaker. Like, how good is the third best APAC team? Like, what are the odds?
Well, Gladiators are good. They're
Gladiators went game 7.
They went game 7 in
they
finals.
Game 7,
okay.
yeah.
So there's actually chances there.
It's like a big one, then another two teams below who are like right there. It's very similar to each other. Hold on a second though. So who will get the second seed? Who's going to be first, second, third seed? Surely for the next event, Elevator is still going to be the top seed in APAC, aren't they?
Yeah, because they made the major, and major still counts.
Yep.
They got a little bit of points from that one. So are they still going to be number one seed, chat? They must be, because they won the fall cup and they made major. Yeah. So even if they didn't do well in this one, or they won the fall invitational, I should say, even if they didn't do as well in this one, they're surely still going to have the most points.
Yeah, because you got to remember, it still counts the major for teams that didn't make the major. So everyone else is a 0 there. Because they go off last 3 events.
Somebody in chat said, are you sure it's a tiebreaker? Well, exactly, because it shouldn't be. But for this split, if you win, you don't get that extra 1 point or 2 points or whatever.
Well, I haven't even looked at the rankings.
You just get an extra 1 placement higher. So it's the same as third for second, second to first, which is crazy because you think if you won 2 regionals, then you wouldn't have to play a tiebreaker with someone who got second into and only won 1 regional. But there's no extra point, which... we haven't really we said we'd follow up. We haven't really followed that up as to why that is.
Wait, hold on. Explain that again for my friend here.
Okay, so in case Rizzo's friend doesn't understand, so usually when you win a regional, you know how the placements in points, it's 4 points between third and second,
12 or 16 points.
Yeah, but then first usually gets 4 points plus 1, or it might be you get 351 points instead of 350. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But now for this split, which was the same last split, you got an extra point for winning a regional, just to not have the tiebreaker. You know, whoever's won a regional obviously gets the advantage because they got that extra 1 point. But for this regional, there's no extra point for first. It's exact same between 5th to 8th, 3rd to 4th, to second to first is all 4 point gaps.
Oh yeah.
So compare that to, the top 8 format for once you reach the final 8 teams, this split, it's the exact same as last split, single elimination. So last split, you got 9 points for a quarterfinal, 12 points for a semi, 16 for a final. So those jumps are in 3, 3, and 4 increments from the ones below them, or just 3 and 4. This split, it's 12, 16, 20. So like CJ said, it's just you jump 4 more points every round you go. Crazy. And actually, even from the round before, it's a 4 point jump. So if you go from the previous round to that, it's a 3 point jump before that one. So, winning a quarterfinal in this is worth the same as winning the final points wise, which is why it's going to probably lead to ties. I imagine there's probably going to be a bunch of ties in dead even points because all of the rounds are worth the same. I did actually check, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, top seed is, of course, going to be Elevate for the next event. But I think second seed is Detonator. And third seed is actually Lycus Empire, if I'm saying that right. Which is it's not even Gaming Gladiators. It's going to be the Sigm's Furlash team, which means I think that means Gaming Gladiators will be on the Elevate side of the bracket because they're going to be the 4th seed. If those 4 teams all win their group size, which they probably should, as they usually do. So... Detonator looking good. I think they're going to have a grand final showdown with Elevate.
We should
Well,
try
halfway
and get
dead
a
season saying that wrong.
statement
I don't know
from.
why I'm wrong though.
We
Need an
should
explanation
try
on
and
that.
get a statement from Sonics about this point. I feel like there must have been a mistake because this is like it's not like a new season thing. Last split there was an extra point for first. The whole last season there were extra points for first place. This is like just this split, which doesn't make sense. Like it's not like the format caters to it or something. It's
Yeah, I don't get it. I feel
know.
like finals should be worth more. But this is the same for all regions, by the way. It's not just Asia Pacific. It's every region's the same.
Yep.
I don't. Wait,
I was right. Halfway dead was wrong. Unlucky. Unlucky halfway dead. I
Yeah,
don't.
so
If you're wondering why I'm gloating, I don't often get to be right about something. Halfway dead usually just codes some kind of program to out predict me, and I'm always losing. So that felt good.
As John said as well. So yeah, so now or historically first, if you got first and third, that'd be better than getting 2 seconds. But now it's exactly the same.
Yeah, there's
Which
going to be
is
some
interesting.
tiebreakers.
Yeah, which I mean could be entertaining. Lots of tiebreakers. I mean the fans love tiebreakers.
yeah,
Oh,
But,
and 2.
that best of
the
7.
teams that win events are going to be
0-2.
annoyed.
I'm 0-2 on them. I've played in both North American tiebreakers, and I've lost both of them.
Yummy just said it's the same. Oh, it is. So it's the same in spring. So for some reason in fall, you got an extra point for winning, the same as last season. But now this split and spring split, it's just 8-point gap, which is the same between third and second. So I don't know.
I feel like I thought about this before. I did a point system tournament years ago, Fusion, and one of the things with the points
Fusion.
I know we'll go bring it back for Retals. He loves Fusion format. But one of the things that I made sure with the points is that they would lead to as few ties as possible. And that's not what this one does. So the only motivation that I can think of to structure the points like this is to create tiebreakers. It's not to prevent them, it's to create them. So maybe that's what we're going for here. Maybe we're going full tiebreaker mode, which let's see, I guess. We'll see how it works out.
Fusion was my NV tryout, and then they gave me the spot, and I bought a hoodie for my mom, and then they gave it to Turbo 3 days later.
Wait, what?
You bought a hoodie?
What, you bought an NB hoodie?
Okay, so
Scam.
Mixon Atomic tried me out that off season. And they're like, yeah, the spot's yours. Like, let's get it done. I was like, all right, let's get to work. So I ordered a hoodie for my mom because the branding was there's still an Envy hoodie laying around somewhere in my old house.
That's crazy. Yeah, because you did really well in that tournament. You qualified. Didn't you guys clinch qualifying with a 1v1 against Squishy, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, 10-0'd him.
Yeah, just absolutely. You had no mercy. Just destroyed Squishy,
Done.
which that must have felt pretty good to qualify with. But I can't believe they just flipped it on you. Just gave the spot to Turbo. That's unfortunate. But then that's what enabled you to get onto SSG, right?
Right. Well, it was Envy and then Rat Enterprises for a bit. Me, Torment, Gimmick, but that team went awfully. And then I thought I was going to retire, take a break for a season. And then 2 weeks before then I was going to be back with AJ and Jai. We were just going to run it back. And then 2 weeks before roster lock, SSG was like, yo, come play. Like, say less.
And now you're back on Envy. So
now I'm basically back on Envy, yeah. So it all comes full circle.
Massive.
Actually full circle.
Do we want to get into the hot topic?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we could.
Or do we want to go around the world?
That is probably a good time. So before we go to all of the RLCS results, we did want to cover the WBC.
Let's mix it up.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about the WBC news that's been coming out and catch everyone up who's not been following it, but also trying to figure out what's happening ourselves, because I don't think I'm really sure what's going on. It's all kind of it's all kind of confusing with a lot of the announcements that are coming out. WCB, sorry, I'm getting it completely
Do you want to
wrong.
set the tone on this, Johnny? You want to provide a bit of backstory for those that are out of the loop?
Ball car.
Women's ball, yeah, women's ball car. I can't even say the name right for. Well, so I saw this on Reddit. It was like an announcement. Didn't a tweet go out from the actual women's carball Twitter? That was where this first surfaced, and then a bunch of people responded to it. I don't have the link on me, but I wouldn't read it anyway. It was like, no point reading it out to you guys. It was like a very not really saying much kind of tweet. Announcing that there wasn't going to be a season 5. They've done 4 seasons of women's carball, and then they announced that there's not going to be a 5th one. And then a bunch of community people who have been working with women's carball were not too happy about that in retweets. Yeah, and I think John Sama made a video about it. There's been quite a lot of Rocket League people tweeting about it. But yeah, Rizzo, you've done your homework on this. What's going on?
I've done quite a bit of research because I want to make sure I got it right. So hopefully I don't mess up anything here. But okay, so yeah, WCB is like women's carball. It's this kind of completely third-party league. Like it's just a tournament ran, like a league that's ran. They have their seasons going on. WCB was acquired by Pioneers in season 4. They did season 4. Season 4 was fine. It was okay. And now they're currently in season 5. But this started in maybe like October. They had a bunch of work that was done for the season. They had artists, staff, TOs, and
casters.
Casters, players, exactly.
Orgs.
And so their season 5 went on for a bit. But a lot of the payment terms from this whole thing was that you'll get paid 60 days after the work is finished. It's just called net 60. It's I don't know if it's normal. Net 30 is usually the norm, but net 60 isn't like that crazy.
Bro, Rocket League prize pools are awful, bro.
Yeah,
it takes like 6 months.
So yeah, so it's like they were saying like net 60 you'll get paid, so 60 days after your work's completed. 60 days goes by, which is basically January 1st. In a lot of these situations, people aren't getting paid. And they've been emailing, asking, whatever, trying to get a response, but they're not getting any sort of response from the owners, and the owners are Kansas City Pioneers. And then so essentially the staff is just like, okay, well, if you're not going to pay us, we're just going to halt your league. And so they basically just said the league is going to be stopped for the time being, and there wasn't any word from WCB for quite a bit, but they recently made a statement once these tweets went public that they were basically waiting on sponsors and waiting for additional funding to come through, and then they would be able to pay people. And so the biggest issue is obviously an obvious one is that like they're running this tournament without actually having the money. Not even a tournament. They're running an entire league and running an entire operation without having this money available to actually pay out all these people, all these staff and all this stuff. And they actually just made another announcement, but it was pretty similar to their Discord announcement. It was just saying, hey, we'll work with people on the back pay, all this stuff. But I mean, the biggest concern is like, why does it have to be publicly outed for you to start saying, hey, we're going to work on the back pay 30 days after people should have been paid, right? It's already been, they should have been paid after 60 days. It's already been 80 to 90 days or whatever, depending on when invoices were sent, and people just are not getting paid.
That's wild. So that they clearly were not able to take this, or they thought they could take this commitment, and they apparently can't. Well, the maybe a sponsorship fell through or something, but yeah, people not getting paid in esports, it sucks. And the fact that it's happened to women's carball also sucks. Like it seems like a massive foresight, of course, but the other downside is that they thought the best case scenario was just to cancel the season. They were like, let's just cancel it, which there must have been in planning, right?
I think that the thing is, as well, as the staff were the ones who like halted the season because nobody was getting paid. So they were like, okay, well, if you're not going to pay anybody, like we're not going to keep doing all this work and then not getting paid. So we're going to stop it. So I feel like if they didn't actually take the initiative to stop it, they probably would have just kept running the thing.
Probably.
Wow. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah,
that one's obviously an assumption, but like, I mean, if the staff who aren't like particularly involved with the whole payment structure, they're the ones who are stopping it.
So is there like any idea of what's next for women's carball? Is there any like news apart from the announcements that don't really say too much?
Yeah, besides the announcements that say they're like working on back pay and they're working on getting stuff together. They also made a comment in their first Discord post. I don't know if it was in the tweet because I didn't really get the chance to read that yet. But in their first Discord post, they ended up saying that they're going to work on back pay while they work on their transition. And their transition was basically saying they're trying to sell it or get rid of it. I don't know if they're putting a price point on it or what, but they're trying to transition into new ownership, whether that's bought or whether that's just given to somebody. So I would assume that that's the next step. A lot of people are also saying that Psionic should probably get involved in the sense that they should take over like maybe not WCB, but they should create a women's league themselves.
They're pretty cool.
And that's something I actually didn't know about this, but right before the show, you were saying that that's something Valorant did, and it went so well that they're going to do it for League as well, right?
Yeah, Valorant hosted. I had the tab open, but now I'm trying to find it. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but Valorant essentially did a women's tournament, and the tournament did so well, or you know, as well as
Game Changers.
Yeah,
Game
Game Changer. That's what
Changers.
it's called. It did well enough to where they were like, wow, we should do League of Legends women's tournaments as well. And to me, that seems like a great success, right? If you're gonna take
Success.
one of your biggest names, your games in Valorant, and then immediately transition to your other biggest game of League of Legends, like that. I mean, the tournament had to have gone extremely well for them to want to do that, right?
Yeah. It opens doors to different, demographics for sponsors. It opens doors to different demographics of viewership, as well as having a lot of cross-pollination with already existing viewership from esports audiences in the open, just tournaments that they already run. So that would make a lot of sense. I feel like that's an obvious thing that Rocket League could, benefit from, is like a women's only RLCS equivalent. It wouldn't have to be related to the RLCS like directly. So the Valorant Game Changers, is it just it's a standalone tournament, not related to is it Valorant Esports? I'm such a noob when it comes
It's
to Valorant.
VCT.
I've tried to figure out Valorant. It's not a part of the official franchise league, so I'm just going to assume it's a tournament. It could be a circuit, but it is a separate league, and I don't believe it's franchised. When I was looking at the Game Changers thing, there were a few orgs in there, but a lot of the teams weren't sponsored. They just had like a little Valorant logo. So I assume it's not franchised just based on that alone, because it would just be a org logo or whatever. And then somebody in chat just said it's a circuit, so I'm just gonna believe that
That's
person
good enough
in chat.
good enough for us.
Yeah, good enough for me. It's a circuit, which is great, honestly, because that just provides like longevity and stability with like some sort of circuit rather than just a one-off tournament.
Thankfully, you go ahead, CJ.
I was just gonna say, I think like I don't think anyone's against it. It's just the whole thing was obviously KCP. It seems like they're a bit in the bin at the moment, and this has been organised for like a long time. Like people have been. The big thing is that people had, I guess, pushed aside other commitments for this, and then all of a sudden it's like, actually, no, it's not happening, which is pretty wild.
Yeah,
It's not just when stuff like that happens. When you don't get paid, and then you think you've got a working relationship with a TO, and then you don't as a caster, player, org, whatever. I did see tweets of people saying that they ditched other opportunities, said no, I can't do that because in those dates I'm booked for this, and then that falls through because of whatever the situation is, lack of funding.
A lot of people were promised 9 months worth of work.
Yeah, gross
crazy.
oversight of allocation of resources. That's like it's a real issue, especially like in a short career that esports can be for anyone involved in esports.
Yeah,
it can be a very short career.
Obviously not going to give numbers, but I know they did offer some very good rates for talent, and like even say like Bass from the past, he's RLCS APAC, like he put aside, or I think it was like a couple of weekends of APAC RLCS work to do like WCB stuff, and then that doesn't happen, and now he's lost. Like you're not just losing money from the gig, now you're losing money because you're not doing other stuff whilst doing that, because you've already rejected those things. So
you reject that, and then someone else gets offered it in your place. They accept it. You can't just suddenly go back and be like, actually, I'll do it. These things are pretty locked once commitments are made. So yeah, that's a really unfortunate situation. But I just hope it gets resolved as soon as possible, because there needs to be, in my opinion, that ecosystem in place, and it would make sense, I think, for it to just be run by Psyonix.
Right. And
or like
obviously
supported by Psyonix.
Right. Agreed. And obviously the hole that KCP is in is pretty big, and there isn't, a singular person that can fix that. But thankfully, it's early in the works, but myself and another content creator who wants to remain anonymous have a women's tournament coming up with a pretty hefty prize pool. So that's exciting. It'll be announced soon, but
that's awesome, man.
Good plug.
We're here for that. Always.
Good time and place as well.
Wow.
I was working. I was trying to
podcast exclusive.
The Shotcast exclusive. That's a Weddles moment if I ever seen one.
Weddles.
I don't do too much. I get to stream it, and I get sponsors that want to support Women's Rocket League, and I get to support Women's Rocket League, and I get to use my following to make that possible for them. It doesn't do me much harm, so I like doing stuff like that.
But it's honest work. He says, "What a man."
I like it.
Awesome. That'll be good. We'll tune into that, everyone.
See, I'm actually very proud so far that the Twitch chat has been so helpful with this conversation, because it's not always the case whenever this topic or topics related to women's only esports tournaments come up. I know that the Rocket League scene, I swear that there was like some kind of like little clique of players, fans who were like complaining about women's only tournaments in Rocket League. At some point last year, I swear, or it could have been longer. Years go past pretty quick when you're my age. But yeah, so far none of that's tonight. So good job, chat. Well played. Yeah, it's great. Like Retals said, when this exists, it's like there's different sponsorship opportunities that wouldn't exist if there wasn't a women's only tournament. There's different demographics, different brands that want to integrate with the scene because of those kind of things. But yeah, bubble players often think that, wait a minute, why is that money going there and not to me? I'm better. But actually, if the money didn't go there, it definitely wouldn't go to the bubble scene. So it's not being, none of this is getting taken from like it's like some bubble players think that there's this pot of money that is like the Rocket League prize money, and they're taking money out of it to like give it to people or give it to tournaments that they can't play in. And that's just not how it works. It really, it really is like a great opportunity.
Good for good job, it's good for the ecosystem bringing in. It's it can only be good for the scene. So get behind it. Get behind it, Weddles as well. Make
excited.
A move.
It'll be fun. I'm excited. I like doing stuff like that for the bubble scene too. I mean, obviously they can seem a little entitled, but they deal with. I mean, every level of facts. Every level of Rocket League casters, pro players, bubble players, woman players, everyone deals with something. So
it's understandable if it's if it's a genuine question. I don't think there's a problem when people like have genuinely asked, why do we need women's only tournaments? Why do we need XYZ only tournaments and so on? I think that's a fair question if you want to just learn about the topic. But yeah, some people do ask it in a very confrontational way, and it's clearly like coming from a place of saltiness or something to that effect. So yeah, that's not always a bad question. If you don't know, then yeah, there's plenty of examples. I actually wanted to ask I don't know if any of you know this.
If you're gonna bring that up, Johnny, my friend here, who he's very curious in an extremely genuine way. Why should we have women's Rocket League tournaments? Why should there be women's leagues in general? Johnny, I know you want to talk about this.
I was going to come to that, but before that, I wanted to ask, because I don't know how the CSGO one went. I swear there's like a CSGO like big women's only tournament as well that happened or is happening. Does anyone in chat know if that's going on? Because the Valorant one went really well, apparently. I swear there was a CSGO one, and I saw like so many like relic kind of content creators, casters from the CSGO scene, like criticizing it. And I'm like, what are they doing? What is going on here? This is ridiculous to see. But how did it has it gone yet? Has it gone on CSGO one?
I think yes. I think what John said is true. That CSGO has done that for quite a while now.
Didn't they announce like a big one though, or like?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Are you talking about like Richard Lewis and stuff like a while ago, like that whole?
Oh, I don't remember who specifically was like commenting on it or making. Yeah, I was kind of curious to know how that went.
Was it similar? Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I think it was. There's a bunch of people who were saying this is not how you increase, because the first response like to Rizzo's question, or Rizzo's friend's question, I should say, why do women's only tournaments help in the Rocket League scene and in any scene? The first response that people always give is that, well, women are underrepresented in the esports, therefore they should have their own tournaments to boost the representation. And then the response I always see to that is that that's not going to work, and that's it. Evidence? Trust me, bro. It's just not going to work. That's always the response. I swear.
Trust me, bro.
But I was really curious to see, what's exactly happened, in women's only tournaments outside of Rocket League. Rocket League, we've only been a scene for a very, very short time, so we've not really got years and years of evidence. Of course, we did have Karma, who made RLCS. She's awesome. That's one of the most successful women players. Yeah. I think it's just the beginning. But yeah, I was reading about chess, and I saw some really. Oh yeah, Pharaoh. I can't remember who thought she was Pharaoh was a girl. That was a bit ridiculous. But the chess professional scene. I know the chess has kind of blown up in the online world recently. I was reading about it because chess is obviously ancient, hundreds of years old. Way back in the day, women couldn't play the Chess World Championship. Now they can. They've been able to play it since, I think, almost 100 years or something. But even 100 years later, there's still not the same level of women representation in chess at the top level. And like previous world champions, like Bobby Fischer, Garry Kasparov, have like years and years ago, like this is like 30 years ago, and I'm not trying to like cancel them or anything, but they've said that this isn't chess isn't for women and things to this effect. Takes that they then years later went back on and said, actually, in the past I was wrong. I don't think like that anymore. But yeah, I saw this quote from the most successful women chess player of all time that I thought I just had to tell you guys because it reminded me so much of Rocket League players. And it was Judith Polgar, most successful female chess player of all time. She hit number 8 in the world in the ELO system at the Open, men and women, number 8. And she said, when men lose against me, they always have a headache. I've never beaten a healthy man. So even in chess,
just max cope.
Yeah, they're coping even in chess when they lose there. So I thought, wow, that's just too familiar to not share with you guys. But yeah, they have women's only tournaments in chess as well. And since the introduction of those, women have a higher representation in the rankings. I forget what they're called. It's like international master, grandmaster, all that stuff. So yeah, but it takes time though. It takes time because there's stereotypes that need to be broken in order for women to be able to compete on a fair playing field, and you can't have that without affirmative action such as women's tournaments. So good stuff, Retals. Good stuff. Anyone running women's only tournaments, congrats on the success ahead of time. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited. Be good.
Beautiful. Are we gonna head over to around the world now? Back to the RLCS results.
Yeah. I would say that's the play. I think what do we have? EU is EU first.
We did APAC. We've also got EU happened. Sam happened.
Guys, I actually watched an EU regional. I watched.
Whoa, calm down.
It doesn't happen much. In my 5 years of being pro, I've probably watched a collective 40 European games, maybe 35. I don't watch Pro Rocket League. I was just awake and bored, so I was like, yeah, let's toss on Rocket League. However, I will say, Radisson, I like him. He's good. I don't know much about him, but he's good.
Have you never played him when you were over in Europe for
never.
Any reason?
Mm-mm.
No, never played
Radisson.
Radisson.
Is it Radisson?
I think most people say Radisson.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome. I feel like when he first joined the team, he first teamed with Vitality when it was K'd up on Alpha 54, if I'm not mistaken. And he seemed super nervous whenever he played, and everybody was underrating him. But yeah, he's super good. Very good player.
I'm impressed with him a lot. I think that whole mess with like Zen, that's a mess. I think it's tough because even Sizen, like you can say he's the weakest on the team. Sure, I don't know what the public opinion on that is, but if you actually like watch the games, like you can see how much like dude's doing. It's tough. It's tough because right now, like what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just play for yourself, like play for your flip reset. Like I don't know.
I've got a conspiracy theory about this.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Now Sizen, interesting name, isn't it? Because he's got Zen in his name. So
Don't.
I decided to do some research the other day.
Stop
so I
it.
googled
Oh my
I googled
God.
what does Sai mean? Now Sai is actually a dagger with 2 sharp prongs curving outward from the hilt.
My goodness.
So Sizen's going to be stabbed in the back with a dagger by Zen come the third split.
Or he's
It's
gonna
just
stab Zen.
destiny.
Or he's gonna
I mean,
stab
it's
Zen.
Or he's
all
gonna
there
stab
for
Zen,
him.
keep his
Yeah,
spot.
I was seeing it the
Zen
other
is
way around. I think he
no
might
longer
stab
the
Zen.
equation.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was going the other way with it, but I think it's all there. It's all there for you in his name. Like, I'm not
Oh,
trying to
my
leak
days.
this script to the chat right now, ladies and gentlemen, but like, I can't believe no one else looked at this. Like, the first thing I saw, I was like, wait, he's got Zen in his name. What's going on here? What does the first part mean? And then it all makes sense. There you go, chat. There's my
Apparently,
conspiracy
Fear
Wow,
theory.
there
saying
you go.
Sai in French means no, so he knows Zen.
No
Zen's
Zen.
better take his spot.
No
That's
Zen.
tough.
He actually,
please.
they used to always play twos together. Sizen and Zen.
That's a great
Don't know if
tweet
they
as
still
well.
do, but they used to play twos together a lot. When Zen was pushing rank 1, Sizen would be right there with him. Yeah, Sizen's like, he's definitely been outshone by Ridosin. This past regional, Ridosin was very, very good. He was like, even I think competing for Alpha. Everybody's talking like Alphas to carry the team. I think Ridosin like carried so many games as well.
But that's such a bad spot to be in, dude. Like just having a prodigy on your bench, just it doesn't matter what happens, he will come in and like. So what? You have 2 options. You either play for the team and don't care how you look, or you play for yourself and just try and look as best as you possibly can. It's tough.
Okay, well, what if? So BDS kind of had this happen where last season where they brought in Seiko for the spring. That's what Vitality are going to do with Zen with the 4-man roster, as they're saying. Yeah, what if it doesn't go the way that BDS and Seiko went? They don't just immediately win their first regional. What if they like play really poorly, finish last in groups with Zen? And this is like, Vitality look like they could easily be a top 5 team this split. So what if they have a great split with Sizen, and then they sub him out, bring in Zen, and they just first event it goes terribly, like terribly. Scrims are going terribly.
That's
like,
interesting.
Do you think he could? Is there hope for him to just like have them run really badly with Zen in the first event that they play with him? He could have the Mike Wazowski like tweet ready. He could have that on draft, and they bring him back in.
What do you think? What Mateus said? Like, do you think like what if Vitality is a crazy like they make the major, they get top 2 at the major? Like, could you see a world where Vitality sells Zen?
Surely not.
No. I feel like they've invested too much money into him already. I guess if they sell, they got to get the money back. But I don't know. I feel like they're too invested with this prodigy. He's the future.
There's also
Surely he's the future,
Carmine
not the
Corp as
Vitality
well.
team now.
Well, yeah, you could also make the argument that I feel like whatever that happens that next split where he's supposed to come in, it could be very short-sighted to be like, all right, let's sell him to BDS. So like they've already invested this much. They signed him.
We want a regional.
Yeah, they invested.
What if it's like
paid for him for 6-7 months? Like at that point, are they really gonna just wait for the one regional where he can play and then be like, well, let's get rid of him? Come on, now.
No, but that's sunk cost fallacy. That's just sunk cost fallacy. They should just if they can cash in a huge amount, then you got to consider it.
Well, if somebody does offer him like $500,000 or something right off the bat, then I don't see a world where they don't sell him. But
exactly, yeah. Even if they've paid like a little bit already. Interesting. I'm excited to see what happens. But right now, Vitality look good with their current roster, and I think Sizen, he looks super nervous on this roster, which is understandable given the circumstances. But I could see him stepping up and playing better. I've seen him play better than this in the past. He's been teaming with Ridosin for a long time before they both eventually joined Vitality. Yeah, Sizen can play better. I think Vitality have like kind of stuck him in a very awkward situation here, kind of like putting him against Ridosin. But yeah, Sizen's I think he's a good player. I think they can be a very solid team.
We don't like, not a witch hunt, we don't like saying, this person's going to get kicked, that person's going to get kicked. But in a hypothetical world, if Sizen does get replaced by Zen, I mean, it was all in his name. Like, it was right there for everyone to see. The script was right there. So don't come running at me. I don't need a big song and dancer parade when this does happen about how I've found this out and I had the script. Just go about your day, but just know in the back of your mind, Sai means dagger.
Okay, I won't forget it. I'll be thinking about it.
Okay, we looking at other Mike Wazowski tweets. Oli hit them with one this weekend after Oxygen got eliminated in the semis, I should say. Oli dropped one. How many likes did it end up getting? I don't remember how many likes I ended up getting. No one's gonna touch Mark by Ace, of course.
Yeah, that one was farmed. Yeah, that one farmed. That one was kind of crazy, the oldies, because they still got a semifinal finish. They got a top 4.
He got 1.8k likes, so like that's solid impression farm for Oli. That's really solid stuff. Very good. Yeah, I guess they were trying to win that, so yeah, could be
maybe if they lost like
bad result.
Even quarters, it's like I don't think it's like terrible. I think if they didn't make it to top 8, then you do it. I think a semi-final tweet of that is kind of wild though, because I think they still look pretty good.
Yeah, semi-final losing Game 7 to Vitality, who were playing really well. I don't think there's anything wrong with Oxygen's result there.
The team's like at least gonna be like FaZe. Like there's just too much talent on that team to lose that early. Like that team's just too good individually. Even if they suck as a team, they'll be fine.
Yeah, well, Rise looks really good. I don't know if you caught any of Rise's games. He kind of carried their comeback.
I watched their Sonics comeback.
Yeah,
and then I watched the Vitality series. That's all the Oxygen I saw.
For me, I barely saw Jorius like the whole weekend. I think Archie was really good, like stepped up in that Sonic series, and Rise like turned into a playmaker. But
yeah, playmaker Rise, right?
I'd see the peak Jorius. That if he's peaking, that team will win everything. But I feel like that's always.
Oh Lord, here we go. Some T-Bates talk, winning everything.
I don't get it.
Well, I don't. You know what I'm saying? They should win at least the regional. But if they have a good weekend, they should win. But he was a bit messy.
You know, the crazy thing is, T-Bates would have probably identified Oxygen as a super team because, you got Joria's Archie on there, Rise joins, like one of the absolute best players in the world. So that's a super team for sure. I think we can all agree. Now, when we had T-Bates in the show, he says that, if a super team like that exists, you don't even got to watch because he already knows who's winning. So this entire time, he still thinks Oxygen won the first event. He has because he didn't watch because he knew they're going to win.
We asked
him. Kind of crazy.
We asked him, and he said he did not think Oxygen was a super team.
Oh, he doesn't. Okay, never mind. So you might have watched actually.
I think there's a weird. Obviously, the term super team just creates so many arguments just because of like how like undefined it is. Because you have players like Jorus that are very mechanical, and then you have everyone at the top of the leagues are mechanical, but like I think a player like Extra is more valuable than a player like Jorus, but Jorus like looks better mechanically, and there's a whole mess with that. Like I think Extra is like one of the best role players in Rocket League. I don't think he's a superstar. I think he's an Unreal player, but it's just I hate that term so much. I despise the super team term. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much.
He doesn't like super teams, huh?
It all started with
what your super team?
What do you mean?
Like if you could
by definition?
If you could build a team.
With me in it or just 3 players? Just 3 players?
I want both.
Okay. With 3 players, give me Vati Goat, Dan, and Beast.
Ooh.
Vatira, Dan, Beast. And then with myself in it, give me
Are you thinking like communicational issues now, like Vatira?
Yeah, I'm thinking like
no. So imagine that no language barrier. Vatira can just common English. Vatira can common English. He won Spring Major.
Also, am I thinking like most talented, or like am I thinking like people I want to team with, like I want to create a culture with, and like, I'll go. Give me Dan again. No, give me Vatira and Beast Mode.
Huh. Yeah. No AJ Magic Bear. Interesting.
Shut up. You're the worst.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Retals hates his team.
Oh, he's too easy.
also just flipped on Daniel real quick there when you're like, wait, nah, I've got to like shoot my shot with the tier and beast mode.
Team with Daniel.
I think the other two are better on LAN than Daniel is, but I don't think it's by a ton. I think obviously Daniel's one of the best players in the world, but
yeah, I would agree with that. They've definitely been better on LAN so far. Probably just been better than Daniel overall so far, I'd say.
I think Daniel is, though, like by definition of I've seen like these Octane lists and I've seen the first touch lists and whatever. Daniel's probably the most underrated pro, like outside of everyone else's eyes. Like all the pros know that kid's easily top 3 NA. It's not close. That kid's disgusting. And everyone's got him at like 18. I see like 18s and shit. I'm like, what am I looking at, bro?
Well, 18 NA. No one's got him 18 NA.
No,
so.
I mean just like some of those lists, and it's.
I think it's because he still hasn't won a regional or a LAN, and people base those off results rather than just.
But I also think a lot of LANs aren't his fault. I think Rotterdam obviously wasn't his fault, and then the other 3 that he's played with, I was with him. So let's go back through those. LA. I didn't have a great turn. No, I didn't have a great London. LA, I think I played fine. Daniel's worst tournament was Worlds and LA groups. I wasn't impressed with Daniel at Worlds.
But what about with so you know last fall major that just happened?
Rotterdam, he was 1v3. He was
no, but he was also kind of like imposter at some moments because he just wouldn't stop like going. Like why?
Everyone with that much talent does that unless they have similarly talented teammates with them.
Oh, that's ridiculous! You cannot tell me that.
Name in the first game
against he scored a couple of bangers, I think, in the first game against KC. And then Arsenal just had a clear that would have like won the game for them, and Daniel like went, "Nah, my ball, I'm better than you," and censored it. And then Carbon Corp scored. It's like he's playing for both teams in that series. Like, yeah, he carried, but he also like trolled quite a lot, I'd say. And that's not because he's got bad teammates. It's because he's not trusting his teammates, and that's not a quality of a good player.
It's funny that you're on that side too, because like I agree with you, and I think that a lot of players have no idea what happens in their half. Like. No one on Twitch or Reddit or Twitter knows what happens on the defensive end. Like, all they look at is the goals. I swear, every single goal, it's like, unless it's a blatant own goal, like, no one knows whose fault it was, other than, like, pros and people that, like, hardcore watch the esports. But it's...
Yeah, Coach Chrome wasn't too happy with Dan in that series, even though he did carry. It's a bit of a 1v3 mindset. So we heard from the coach he wasn't too happy. So you might be right there, Retals. You don't beast mode might be
obviously better. Talking about my ex team here, but you don't pick up LJ if you're not going to give him the ball. Like LJ's not an off-ball player. That's not his game. Like with me and Arsenal, we're both fine giving him the ball 95% of the time because he's way more capable than we are on it, and we're good off-ball players, but that's not LJ's game. You gotta feed him the rock.
Regardless of that, though, you know who I'd like on my team?
Who would you like on your team?
KV1, because how good was Secret on the weekend? My goodness, they're picking up where they left off. But in the other side of things, Johnny, NIP, the super team.
Yeah.
We like to call super team, but Kaio joining. The new lineup.
Rellis doesn't like that. Don't
sorry, the super org in Sam, NIP. Have faltered very, very early here. They lost in the quarterfinals to exceed the runner-up. It's crazy.
Yeah, was it not ideal for ninjas in pajamas in their first tournament as an org? Yeah, they look good in the groups. They 3-0 their group, but yeah, then they just lost quarters 4-3. But that same team did then go on to beat Crew as well. So. They clearly were playing very well that weekend. Maybe like coming in a bit underrated, a bit underseeded compared to like their level of that actual event. Yeah, Team Secret, they look like the best team. So that's exciting. We're getting consistency at the top of SAM, which is cool.
Second seed's been just blown wide open though.
Yeah, when did NIP lose? Like when what position?
Fifth, 8.
Oh,
it's not good. Not ideal when there's only 2 spots.
Yeah, definitely not ideal.
Yeah, it's rough, and I don't think that'll affect their seeding because they do actually keep the major points from last split. Because that team they kept 2 of the players, Astromic and Bems. So Yeah, they're still gonna have a good group, I think, and probably still have a good run through the playoffs. Just up to them. They just got to play well. But yeah, South America, KV1, Beastly,
Exceed, who got second, they were the surprise packet. John said the 3 players on Exceed had a combined 1 top 4 finish ever before that weekend.
That's
and they
nuts.
came out and got second. So that's
I'm looking at their run right now. They didn't do great in groups.
Yeah, group is a disaster. Yeah,
and just
they were
close
just, like,
series everywhere. Game 5 True Neutral, Game 7 Ninjas in Pajamas, Game 6 Crew. That's what seed were they before the tournament?
It looks like they were 9th based on Liquipedia. They won close quals.
They were the
so
10
they weren't
seed.
Even...
That's insane.
Yeah,
wow.
10 seed.
10 seed.
Wow.
Yeah, they beat Crew as well though. So like, it's not. I feel like if they just got manhandled by Crew in the next round after beating Ninjas in Pajamas, then it would be like, we've got issues here. But they also did beat Crew, so we thought it was going to be Crew versus Nip for that second spot in Sam this split, and I think Nip can take a little bit of they could rest easier because Crew also did lose, so the gap probably is quite close.
As Matej said, Claus absolutely peaked. He was a top-rated player of the event. He's on Exceed. And you know what else has Claus? Falcons. So let's hop over to MENA.
Oh my days.
And here we are over in the MENA region, and we are gearing up for a crazy first weekend here. Can Falcons bounce back, or is it Rule 1's day?
I did see something about Rule 1 winning a tournament over them, no?
Yeah, they played in the Laib tournament, LA3EB, ran a tournament for the Middle East teams. All the top teams were playing. They ran into how did Falcons and Rule 1 end up in the same side of a semi bracket? Somebody must have trolled in the first stage. But yeah, they played in the semis, and Rule 1 took it 3-2, and then won the whole thing. So Rule 1, with their first competitive match with their new roster against Falcons, get the dub. Not RLCS related, but they did beat them. So that's promising. We're probably not going to see them play against each other until later in the weekend. They play the groups are on Thursday for Middle East. If you want to tune into RLCS Middle East, you got to remember it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
What do you think about the Rule 1 roster move, Johnny?
I think it's an upgrade. I like it. I think that they've made a good move. I reckon that they will be closer to Falcons. I still have to lean Falcons favored because they just always come out on top. So I got to see it to believe it. If they're not going to make it, I got to see it. But I watched the matches. I watched the games that they played Rule 1 against Falcons in the Laib tournament, and Rule 1 looked very good. Mawson, looks like he's slotted right into the roster, no problem. It's all mental. If they can not be destroyed mentally, because every team just seems to crumble against Falcons at some point. That's going to be the battle for them.
Okay.
Facts. I think this is like the most excited I've been about like wanting to watch MENA. Just it feels like the Falcons are this wounded king, this wounded warrior that's ready to like backs against the wall sort of stuff. I'm excited to see who comes out on top. Yeah, it's going to be about who wants it more, Rizzo. Would you agree with that?
For goodness sake.
Who wants it more, Riz?
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Did you want it enough in your qualifiers?
I don't think I wanted it. I played 45 minutes of ranked 2s, and I realized I did not want this.
You didn't really want it. That's probably the best analogy for like how much do you want it that I've ever heard is like, who can actually just put up with ranked 2s for longer? That's how much you want to win.
We were looking at ranked 2s matches yesterday as a team. We were like seeing like, bro, some of these dudes play the game a lot. It's insane. Like, dude, I forget who it was. I think it was Zamway, like 1.8K to his games this season. Daniel had like 1.4. LJ had like 1.6. AJ had like 1.1, 1.2.
How many do you have?
Like 600, I think. And dude, I have I have 100 past 2 with 600 games.
Wow.
How does he even get that many? What?
I don't know.
You know what it is? Actually, is because EU is toxic and they'll forfeit if they're down 1 goal. That's what it is. So he can squeeze as many games as he can in that little time frame.
That's probably true. Yeah. He is definitely toxic. Yeah, I agree. Somebody actually, so I was playing some twos earlier today, just, wanted to torture myself. Because I played some solo twos. And I wasn't sure if I should expose this guy. Somebody tweeted me later in the day, like, GG, and they showed the scoreboard of them losing to me. And then they added something like, unlucky for me, my teammate owned gold and went AFK. I was like, I remember this game. I saved the replay because this was really, really dumb. Check the replay to see if what he's saying was true. Not entirely true. What actually happened is they both own gold. They both spectacularly own gold consecutively. And then the teammate went AFK. So we kind of left out a key piece of information there. Not sure should I expose them or not. I do have the replay. Might make that into a wee video for you guys to witness. But yeah, they keep telling me it's like I'm getting boosted to GC. Mate, they're just own goaling in GC. No, it's not hard. Just play the game. You'll get there. Expose them. Okay. I'll have to get back to the video edit after the show here.
Anyway, moving south now, away from the Middle East.
Yeah.
OCE weekend 1 coming up.
That was your weakest transition so far.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
I thought you were going to SSA.
Sorry. Oh, well, hang on. Let's backtrack.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, Rule 1 in MENA are looking really impressive. And you know what the number 1 rule is? Don't put a fork in a PowerPoint. OCE down here, power. They're looking really strong right now. Just a beautiful major. But smash G2. Then they got smashed by V1, but we don't talk about that. But Team Power are looking fantastic. Don't die of cringe in chat. Looking fantastic for this weekend. KCP, well, the org is struggling for money, but these boys aren't struggling to find a third because they've picked up Hunter. And they'll be looking strong. And Ground Zero pick up Super Locky, Fiber Kaka. That's a super team of third places, if you've ever seen it. So top 3 race here for OCE. There we go. Exciting weekend ahead.
The orgs are catching strays. Oh, nuts.
So why does it still say TBD for Pioneers on Wikipedia? Is that just not updated yet?
They haven't announced it.
It's just on
Smash.
So
they picked up Hunter. Now, for those who don't know, Hunter is a little future Hawk. If you don't know who Hawk is, it's like a future Zen. Well, actually, he's not that good, but he's a young mechanical player. I think he's like 15, 16.
I thought that was another transition, CJ. I thought this was going to...
No, it's not going anywhere. Actually, let me just check what we need to bring up next. All right.
No, wait, so hold on. So maybe Pioneers, if they haven't announced Hunter, what if their graphics guy just quit? He's like underpaid. He's just like, I'm not doing this anymore. They just don't have an announcement graphic. They're like, oh well, we'll just put him on Smash.
They thought they got him, but then they offered him $0 a month.
Well, let me tell you, Johnny, unlike KCP, SSA have a limitless amount of money, which is why these boys flogged everyone this weekend. Another regional victory for the SSA Super Team. They went 4-0, 4-0, 4-0 on Championship Sunday. Absolutely dominated the final
9-0 in the group as well. They did not lose.
Oh, my God. They did not drop a complete single game.
They swept the whole thing. Yeah, they annihilated everyone.
They're looking very strong. It's great. I love seeing that. Just having that super team. Obviously, they picked up 2 die after the last season, who was the best player on Bravado, and probably one of, if not the best player in the region. People were sort of saying. So it's good to see that team forming. And well, obviously they played last split as well. They won all the regionals, and they're looking to continue that. So it's good to see for SSA that'll keep pushing the region. We talk about Elevate. Pushing Detonator to get better. I think super teams push regions to improve. So that's good to see from SSA. We'll keep tabs on how they go in the future. But apart from that, Rizzo...
One thing to go back to before I forget, what do you guys think about Vatira's tweet? If you saw that, swing back to Europe really quickly. He, in the post-winning the event interview, said that, or he was asked by Subi, do you think you're the best player in the world? And he kind of shyly answered, I don't want to say anything because people will think I have an ego, but look at my results. Since the last 14 events, 6 first places, 5 second places.
Hard to argue with that.
Incredible. The consistency of this guy on different rosters. He tweeted something kind of like a defending, I guess, himself for this statement. I didn't notice that he'd been getting any hate for that statement. Maybe he was being DM'd hate from various people. But he tweeted, "Maybe I have an ego. Maybe people hate this part of me, but never forget this is what will push me to redouble my efforts in all circumstances. And it's also this little piece of me that allows me to live my life, to live this dream. Thanks, RL Esports, for everything."
You got the anime mindset.
Yeah, he's
it's fire. No, I love it. I love it. I think how can you argue with it? He just gets results. He just wins.
Yeah, he's got the results to back it.
You can say that he's, not the most mechanical player in the world. You can say he's not the smartest player in the world, but he just wins.
Yeah, he does. And
he's the winningest player.
Yeah, if it continues, really, I don't think many people would have a problem with it because he's such a talent. He deserves it.
Yeah.
That's
interesting because people could say he has an ego or he's always saying he's the best player, but he just comes from the most pure form of competition, the way he speaks, listen to his interviews and stuff, everything. He's not it's weird the way he portrays it because it's not really an ego, it's just his genuine self-belief. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel that's so unique, which really helps him why he's so good. He just believes it. If he works harder than everyone else and he wants it more than anyone else and he's got the stats to back it up, then he's the best. It's not I'm better than you. It's just all about himself. He just believes in himself. It's cool.
To complete the round the world, what are you guys before we
I think Rizzo's on this one. Rizzo's on the transition.
I was just wondering before we finish off with NA, what were your thoughts on Moist first event together? Because I know everyone wants to know.
Oh yeah.
I thought they looked solid. They were okay, it just contradicts myself. They were a bit shaky at times, but I think as a team, literally, if they didn't run into Vitality, which I feel is Master Cope as well, but if they didn't run into Vitality, those guys can easily I wouldn't say easily win events, grand finals, stuff like that. But Vitality in the quarters was a rough draw. They also had to play BDS, but I guess BDS isn't looking as strong anymore.
Yeah, they beat them pretty. Well, I mean, they 3-0'd them. So
yeah,
if that was a tough draw, they didn't make it look that difficult. BDS look like they're in a bit of a shambles right now. Coming third in their group, although that was by 1 game differential in a 3-way tie. They did beat Oxford in the group, so it wasn't all bad for BDS last weekend. But yeah, Europe's very unclear yet who the top 5 is going to be.
It's not unclear.
I think it is. Who's the 5th?
Who's your 4? So you have Vitality, Oxygen.
Oxygen, Vitality, Carmine Corp. I mean, I think that's where the clarity stops. I wouldn't put German Amigos finished top 4. I wouldn't say that they're clear top 5 yet at all. So I am only confident in Oxygen, Team Vitality, and Carmine Corp right now. That's it. Moist Liquid would be my other shouts.
Really?
I'm confident in Liquid. Not as confident as maybe what I saw from Vitality. I think the top 2 are a lock. I think Liquid's
how are you confident in Liquid?
I think
they did a last split,
They did a last split. They're going to be 4-5.
No, but hold on. Retals says it's clear. So
no. Looking at it now, you're right. It's not clear, but I don't see where the Liquid belief comes in. I got Vitality, Carmine, Oxygen. Obviously, I'm gonna go.
You can't say it's a lock and then be like,
no. You're right. It's not a lock. It's not a lock. But I do have Vitality, Carmine, Oxygen, G1, Sonics.
G1.
G1 Sonics.
G1 Sonics. Wait.
Top 5.
What is going on here? I mean, I like Sonics.
I like Sonics. I liked it.
Yeah, Smokes was on fire before Oxygen extinguished him.
Ooh. I like that team. I think that if the pressure doesn't get to him, I think I could see a major.
It's something they've struggled to do in the past, though. RJ Matane have fallen at the last hurdle many times. So I need to see it to believe it.
Watch this regional. I said that.
He's watched 40 games for EU. He's a lot
of all time, but I watched this regional. I watched this regional. I prefaced that with this.
I feel like that is what Retals just did there, though, sums up everyone's reactions to any predictions that ever get made, ever. Where they're just 25. Those predictions are terrible. I can do better so easily. And then you look at it, you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Like,
Every
wait
time we
second,
do a
this is-
top 25, it's like, wait, you don't have this player, this player, this player, and they name like 40 players that we should have had in the top 25. Like,
Right.
make a list yourself then.
It's hard. It's hard. Quadrant are down there, 912. BDS are down there, and they're on the bin.
I think Quadrant are frauds.
Come on, Quadrant.
Wow.
I
You think
they're
it's
frauds.
fraudulent?
I think they're
No way.
fraudulent is hilarious.
Fraudulent.
I didn't believe in that team last, but I still don't believe in them. I don't think they're all that.
Wow. Okay.
Not a believer in the canon.
Quadrant.
What a name to have your last name be Cannon.
Wait, whose last name was that?
Cash.
That's
The
fire.
Cash
That's
Cannon.
a sweet
Nick-
last name.
Nick Cannon. Like he was
Nick
made
Cannon.
for this. Well, he's
And he
probably
has
made
a
to be a
Dominus.
cannoneer, but he
Absolute
has to be
cannon.
there. So glad we got to see the cannon on LAN, but maybe hopefully not the last time. I think you did very well on LAN. Should we talk?
Cannon and Landon.
Should we talk NA groups before we wrap it up here? Because we covered the NA qualifier earlier, but NA groups have been announced.
Yeah,
Should
but
we,
I think I
quickly-
got a quick transition for that. You were speaking about frauds earlier, so I say we head out west and talk about the most fraud-like region there is, NA. There were some crazy groups in here. I think the biggest ones were Group B and D. People were calling those like the scary groups specifically, like the what was it called? It's not a super group.
The group
Group of
Group of
death.
death. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
The scary
I
group.
got super
Super
team in my
groups.
head. I'm like
Super
I'm
teams.
thinking about super group, super
What?
teams. Yeah. But anyway, Group
The
B.
super
Group B
group's
is
very
the scary one, the big scary one. FaZe,
Group B is
Furia,
definitely the hardest.
Shopify, and Knights.
That
one
is not
is
a group
gross.
you want to be in. As any of those 4 teams, that's not a group you want to be in.
What about? No, actually, I was like Group A, but it's
No.
kind of got a good third. It doesn't have a
Group-
good enough third.
Group A is probably the worst out of all 4. My eyes.
Shopify, very strong third seed in
Group B is tough. I think it goes
I guess
B.
It depends what kind of knights show up though, because they can be they got a range, I'd say.
Okay, well, wait, let's hold on.
well,
Let's
well.
name the groups real quick. So Group A is Gen G, Complexity, Dignitas, Koi. Group B is the one I said, FaZe, Furia, Shopify, Knights. Group C is V1, G2, Axel, and Accrue. Group D is SSG, NRG, Optic, and M80.
Matey.
Matey.
We got Matey in the group. All right, Matey.
M80. Sounds like a
Welcome
grenade.
to group.
I
Group
think this
B,
is the
Matey.
first time in recent memory that we sent our 16 best teams.
Yeah,
actually,
I think
saw
I agree.
somebody's tweet
Agree.
about that too. This
I
is
like
the first
these.
time the top 16 is actually in the NA
I
regional.
I think so.
Is that based on points or just the top 6?
I-
Like,
I'm just
people's
eyeball.
thought
That's the eyeball
process?
test for me. Like
Yeah.
I've like scrimmed all these teams, and I think this is probably our top 16. So it'll be
bit weird that Dark Zero's not in there.
Yeah, a bit weird you would say that,
the
Retals.
worst.
It's
I hate all of you guys.
No, I
I hate
couldn't
all
say
of
that.
you guys.
Oh, Dark Zero, they were in the last round, but then they lost 3-0 to Koi, so it didn't end well for them. There was actually no game 5s in round 5 of Swiss, so that was pretty clear. PK Koi Axels getting in the last 3 spots. But okay, Group A. Is anyone taking down Gen G in this group? Oh, Complexity did Koi.
I think complexity tops the group.
You think Complexity tops the group? I like that.
Yeah.
That's a bold take. I like it a lot. Is there going to be Gen G complacency or Complexity just that good?
Gen
I think a little complacency plus Chronic's sick right now. I don't know how that'll last, but we haven't scrimmed that team once. Just constant cancellations because Nolly's moving, and I just think they're not as prepared as they want to be.
Yeah, Jack tweeted out a setup. He's got like a ghetto setup for this one.
Looks
Maybe
good.
I don't know. Maybe he's gonna get it better for the event. But yeah, it's not his usual standards. Well, being sick might not be the end of the world though for Chronic, because Vitality's Alpha, he tweeted out on
Right.
Championship Sunday that he had a fever of 39 degrees, and yeah, he went to the final. So who knows? Maybe he can perform. I could see that though. I feel like they're the 2 favorites. Who else? Who doesn't get last? Dig and Koi. Who do you think takes the
Koi
third
gets
spot?
last.
Koi gets the last.
Yeah, I'd say Koi gets less.
But I think that Koi Dig match will be closer than people think.
I'll say.
Actually, I don't know if Koi gets last. It's gonna be like a game 5 for 0-3. I think it'll be close. I think those teams are very even. Just give it slightly to Dig. I like it.
Also, can we just take a moment that there's going to be a Koi stream this weekend, and their qualifier had like 7K viewers or something like that?
stuff.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how
Hold on
that's
a
gonna
second.
go.
What is a fever for all of our American listeners? So what temperature
Like
would
anything
qualify as
over
a fever?
100.
Over 100.
Yeah, over 100
Yeah.
is your guide.
That's when you get that's when you're not, or that's when you're allowed to not go to school. You know, when
110
JG said
plus.
110, you'd be
No,
dead at
you're
110.
dead. Yeah, what?
Bro, JG doesn't know anything.
110 plus.
100.
Over
What's
100
in
is
Kelvin?
He said 110. Hold on. 110 F in C for all of our non-American listeners.
No,
would be
don't listen to him.
43 degrees Celsius.
Don't listen to him. He's
Dead.
not. He's
You're
not
dead.
right.
43
Yeah.
degrees
It's like-
Celsius.
It's like
That is some
once
strict parenting.
once you
right
get near
there.
100, it's like, you know, yeah, you're not feeling too great.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. For once, the Fahrenheit system is delivering a pretty easy, like, to identify,
100.
plus minus number. Usually, it's just a random number in the middle of nowhere. But that's actually 100. 100 is a clear.
Yeah, on the dot. It's
number
nice.
there. Yeah.
All right, Group B. FaZe, Furia, Shop, Knights, the group of death.
I
What do we got?
want, my heart just wants to say Furia tops the group, but I don't know if I could just go against FaZe. FaZe always looks crazy in groups.
I think
Yeah,
this
they do.
group. I think Shopify gets last in this group,
Really?
which
They
is
just
bold
swept
because they just went
qualifier,
3-0
though.
in the close
Yeah.
ball. But I see it. I don't know. I love, and it's funny too because I'm friends with these guys. Like I'm closer friends with these guys than a lot of other teams. But I don't know. I'm impressed with the Knights team, and obviously, I think FaZe tops the group pretty easily. I like that team, or that team just wins. So I'm gonna go FaZe, Furia, Knights, Shopify.
So if this is the group of death, the super group, is there any chance, if we're calling FaZe the clear favorites, which I think would be a smart thing to do, given Fury had just picked up Lost recently, they're probably going to take a while to adjust. And they didn't. If they absolutely smoked Complexity in the tiebreaker, then I could see some people saying Fury is going to win this, but they didn't. They lost, and then they beat Optic. So definitely still around about the same rank as they were last split at the moment, it would seem. But is there any chance Furia don't make it out of this group? Could you see an upset? Like, could it go
Possible.
really wrong? Because it hasn't.
think
It's
it
gone
could
really
go.
badly for rosters like this who pick up a star player. I think G2 in their first split with the event with Atomic didn't go well. Didn't go they didn't get eliminated in group that bad, but
It could go very wrong. Like this group is stacked. Like any of the FaZe is getting first in this group. I don't
Mhm.
I'd put that like 95% sure. But any of these three teams could get second, third, or fourth, and I wouldn't surprise me. I think this group goes 3-0 FaZe, and then everyone else goes 1 and 2. And then Shop gets knocked out.
3
at
tie.
fourth. Yeah, I think Shop gets knocked out game diff.
Game diff, skill issue.
Diff. GG's.
They just got gapped. All right.
Gapped.
That's
Jungle
Group
gap.
B. Group C, V1, G2. Axel, Accru. Axel is Ajax, Gimmick, and Toasty. Accru is Fifi, Oath, and T-Corel. Who's winning,
Axel-
who's losing?
I was high on Axel, and then they had a bad close qual. G2's topping this, and I'm gonna go. I don't know. Someone else talk. I don't know.
I would say
Um,
G2 tops it. I think I'd probably say Accru's still at the bottom though. I think Accru's out. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. I think a crew's out.
Yeah.
What do we got now? A 3-0, a 0-3, and a couple of 1-2s. Is that what we're doing?
Probably. Yeah. I don't think
Makes sense.
Axel or a crew take a series off V1 G2, and then I think Axel probably beats a crew. So
So
Real.
you did say that you think G2 is going to win this. Is this more V1 doubt? Just being added to the list of times people have doubted V1, or what is this? Does this come
Historically-
from a position of I've scrimmed them behind the scenes? Or what's
No.
going on here?
no, I get this V1 team. I've scrimmed them like once since all the drama, and I think they dominated us. But I have been a long-term G2 believer. I'm impressed with them always. I think they have the best system in the game. I think they have the best culture in the game. They all know what it takes to win, and it's hard to bet against something like that. They're all on it. They're on the same page. I think V1 is still going to do good this tournament. I think that's just a tough draw for them.
You are a notorious V1 hater as well, I've heard. Is that true?
No, I predicted them like a 5th, 8th in one regional, and Calm lost his shit on Shockcast. So
Yeah, you did. Hold on, by the way. So, want to qualify a statement I made. So, I said that we've seen crazy, like talented rosters like G2 acquiring Atomic and then not doing too well in a group stage, and chat's going crazy. It makes they finish 6th. Hey, you guys got short-term memory. In that group, they lost 2 series in a row. Then they were 1-0 down against Ghost in the next series they played. It wasn't looking good. It was looking like they might 0-3 the group. But then they came back, won 3 straight games, beat Ghost again in a tiebreaker. It wasn't looking good though. I feel like that analogy's not as terrible as you guys are letting on. But all that aside, I think the big rivalry group here. This is the one.
This is
the content group. Shice was writing this shit up. He wrote this shit up. He's like, I gotta put these guys in the same group. Are you kidding me?
This is the group that if you just like woke up from a coma, you'd be like, wow, that group's stacked. But maybe not so much now.
What the heck, CJ?
Sorry, I'm not. Wait,
CJ, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's probably.
Well, I mean, it's got both the RLCS Season X like top 2 in there, so.
Like when you really think about that group, like when you sort of been looking at previous results in the past few months, it's probably not the best group.
I think this is.
You got a point.
Out of all 8 teams in the top 8, these are the 2 we would have picked to play. And I think
you mean SSG and NRG out of all the top 8 teams,
right?
You were,
and I think we got bracket blessed or group blessed a little bit. Not to say that's free at all. Like this series go either way, obviously.
Just
but
by comparison,
by comparison to other groups,
yeah.
like dude, SSG Energy is the weakest duo pairing at the top. So you got to win your matches, and I'm not going to talk too much about it. I don't want to jinx, but I'm excited. We're looking forward to this weekend. I think we're playing pretty good Rocket League right now.
Well, Retals, have you been doing your research on NRG and their, recent play style? I'm not going to say anything. Changes. Not going to leak anything, but yeah, they did talk. Carrot did talk about it on the Chalkcast.
Yeah, you got to go do your research and watch the last one back, start to finish. Give us that watch time.
No, I watched it.
Big fan.
We scrimmed them today, and it was pretty even. But
who won?
We did.
Okay.
But I don't think
I watched those. Garrett was dropping frames.
Garrett was streaming. Oh yeah. Oh good. The cope. But I think that it is way more likely this NRG team breaks up than makes a playstyle change, and I don't think they have it in them.
Wow. Well, if it was the content group before, it definitely is now. It's even more the content.
You're the worst. You guys are all the worst.
Saying that,
yeah,
I've got
that's a bit contradictory, though. To what Garrett was saying. Garrett's saying they're doing a playstyle change. You say they just can't, essentially, right? I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
I think all 3 of these players would be successful on a different team. I just don't think this group of 3 will be able to figure it out.
That's bold. I love how bold that is. But why are you saying we're the worst? We didn't say anything, Retals. We didn't. We didn't.
No.
We didn't prod you at all.
He literally said it, and we reacted, and he's like, "You guys are just the worst."
I hate you guys. But we'll see. If they could prove me wrong. They've proved me wrong before, and it's gonna be a good group. That's a fun group.
I think NRG tops this group personally.
I think NRG gets second. I got SSG on top, NRG second, Optic third.
CJ, Optic over M80?
Yeah,
bro. There's a dude on Twitter. There's a dude on Twitter that is saying that has put under every comment talking about a group saying that M80 is getting second and that us and NRG are bubble teams. And I looked through his Twitter. He has 35 tweets of just this group. And talking about M80 getting second.
Who do you think it is? You think it's Kinsey, Lionblaze, or Parsy's Smurf, Twitter Smurf?
Feeling like a Lionblaze cousin or something. That's what my money's on.
What's the account name?
I could believe that.
Is the account name like Lion Lays or something? Like what we worked with here?
Basically, no, I'm not. Can't give the clout to those guys, but they're insane, dude. They're insane.
Someone on an M80 burner. Yeah, the copium. No, I think it's going to be. I love this group. As someone said, it's like the for fun group. I think it feels like it's a tournament within a tournament.
This group is fun. I'm excited for it.
This is so good. This is the entertainment meme of like giving your little brother the controller that's not plugged in. Like they're still like they're all just hanging out in their own tournament, and then they're just going to rejoin the main tournament. Oh, I love it. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I think SSG are going to win it because they do really well early on in tournaments, apparently, with this roster, or at least they did last split. And then, NRG Optic, I've been hearing good things about the pace, the aggression that NRG are bringing to the matchup. So I'm excited. Didn't they? Who won last time? I feel like, didn't NRG win last time you played?
Yep, game 7 overtime in a regional 2 quarters.
That was a big swing match.
That was a devastating series.
If I'm gonna predict this for real though, I think that SSG top the group.
Yeah.
Optic gets second.
Appreciate that, CJ.
And I think.
Oh, come on.
What do you mean? Come on! I think that
Nah, we
get someone else go, and I'll come back to my.
Don't do it, CJ.
Someone else go.
Well,
someone else go.
I think Métis is gonna finish last in the group. It's like the toughest group for the bottom seed because the next closest seed to you is seed 9, right? Aren't Optic coming in as the 9th seed?
I think Group B is the toughest group as the lowest seed.
I wouldn't say so. I feel like Knights and Shopify are probably looking at each other and thinking that's a better matchup than Optic or NRG.
Yeah, you're probably
surely.
Right.
Like I just feel like if your goal is 3rd, Group D is the worst group to be in, I think, and that's why I've got to say Métis is going to be
that's why you also have to rate the groups off that. Like if your goal is 1st, then our group is probably the best to be in. But if your goal is not getting eliminated, then don't.
Yeah, yours probably the worst one because the next lowest seed is like the 2nd lowest seed in the group is the
9th.
highest in Group D.
Right.
So tough one.
You got to remember that last split, NRG were close for the major.
They
going
were
into the last regional. So I'm going to go NRG 3rd. I don't think they're as bad as everyone's saying. I'm going to say it.
They're not. They're not nearly as bad as everyone's saying.
That's not a brave take that is NRG.
I'm going to say it. They got to come 3rd in their group. Yep, bold take. Thank you.
What do you mean they're not as bad as everyone thinks they're going to come?
Thank you, CJ. You're so inspirational.
No, dude. To be fair, the way you see Reddit and Twitter talking, they think NRG is 12th. Like everyone on my dude, I ran that bubble tournament, and there was at least 45 people that were just yeah. What is NRG not in the tournament? Did they not get invited?
Where's NRG, bro?
Oh, they're still number 6 in points, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the closest to. They were the closest to the rest to making the major. They just didn't get it. I mean, surely it would the betting man would bet NRG here because they got the game 7 win on you. But why?
Yeah.
If you were trying to convince somebody it's not going to happen again, Retals, what would you say without giving anything away about?
No offense, but I to be honest, I do not care about convincing anyone else. My team.
So let's say hypothetically you cared. Then what would you say?
Let's say me. You want to convince me?
Now you're the worst. Now I'm allowed to say it. I think, and to be completely honest, there's still a lot of holes in our game, but I think we've patched up a few of them. And I can't say the same for NRG from what I've seen scrimming them. So I think we have improved slightly, and I don't think they have. That's my sell you my pen story. So,
and you have 90 past 2 or 100? What was it?
102.
102. There it is. Yeah, it's over.
I've got a question for you, Retals.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy always going to game 5? Because
I hate it.
That's what you.
I hate it. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Seems like you guys like it though, because you're always in the do or die. Like your Swiss stage last split.
Chrome's on his scrim copium because we scrimmed them today. Chrome, get out of it.
He does love.
What's he saying? But it scrims. What's the cope? I missed this.
It was the NRG thing.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, what are the hours? Garrett's got to have some pretty high hours as well, though. He's up there in the twos leaderboard. He's up there.
Who's not playing the game right now, though, Retals?
Let's find out. Let's out some people live on the stream. Let me go to my friends list. Okay. Chicago's on high hours. Garrett's on 98. Well, I dropped down to 98. Daniel's 125.
Whew.
Two-piece on 49. Don't love that. Raisable on 115. Like always, that dude grinds.
Oh, what a man.
Let me find someone on low hours.
Oh, yeah, Jan's on 98 as
well.
Tell
me phases hours if he can, if they're not.
First killer 75. Sip always has his hidden, and then mist is probably 50. But let me find him. Sip on 57.
Not terrible.
It's not awful. Missed on 41.
JJ said 2Piece has a week. Let him be. Bro, it's in 2 days.
You know, I different topic, unrelated, but I've just scrolled to the bottom of my, hours list that Steam has in the Rocket League section, and I've went all the way to the bottom to see who's slacking, and it says, Neat Mike, 1 minute, played recently. Man logged on for 1 minute, he's like, nah, I can't do it.
I'm going to find the lowest hours that's in the regional. I think it might be, it's Aqua at 36, probably. Who's the lowest hours in the
regional gamer?
I think it's Aqua. Which makes sense. Aqua always has low hours. Same with Mist. They don't really grind too much.
What's he at? What's his hours at again?
I think it was 36. So 36. 3 hours a day, basically. Not even.
Oh yeah.
How many hours does Garrett have?
98. Me and him are tied.
But how many hours of that for Garrett is spent in the trade window?
0. You're right.
Barrett B.
Exactly.
That's a totally different account, DJ. Totally different account.
Oh, sorry, that's Barrett B. Sorry.
That's Barrett B, not Garrett G.
I get it mixed up, sorry.
Completely different account. So the hours would not add up, obviously.
He's on those Sonic support tabs. He was lagging on stream the other day. I said, close those support tabs. He's got 80 of them open. He's just got a direct line with Shiest. Like, Barrett B.
Oh,
what
God.
A man.
Can't get the boost anymore, so he's grinding out the untradeable wheels now, the alpha wheels. Actually, speaking of that, so, like OSM actually got scammed, and now he can't get his boost back.
It's actually terrible.
Hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's terrible, but it's so funny.
It's kind of funny. It is.
It's hilarious.
I feel incredibly bad for him, but like the situation itself is like, yeah, we can't give you the boost back anymore because we just had this whole train of scammers.
It just comes a week after like the worst possible. It's just the worst time to actually get scammed.
Also, apparently.
What somebody tweeted at you, CJ?
Striped got hacked, and then Striped his account was sending like malicious links or whatever.
How do you still click on those though?
I don't know.
We've had that for years. Like, if you get a weird link, don't click on it.
That's what I'm saying.
On Google Drive or something. I don't know.
It was Google Drive
malware. Like Stripe said, like, hey, can you record your face and then put it on this Google Drive link? Like, what is? I don't like. Hey, download this real quick. Like, what?
It's actually so hard to get, and this is like the biggest knock on wood moment ever. I'm gonna get hacked someday, but it is so hard to get hacked through Steam. Like you actually have to like click on a link and then like click on it again, and like it's I don't know.
And
how
like sign in, do
you usually have to you have to log in. Yeah, you have to like type your details to like submit them to the website.
Someone tagged me in OSM's tweet. It said Barrett B here. You guys won't believe it.
You won't believe what just happened.
You won't believe what
crazy timing.
Crazy timing. I know.
But I heard that there was some big news, but you won't believe it. It's happened again.
Oh my God.
So to finish off this energy optic, if Retals and Garrett are tied for hours, it all comes down to Squishy and Justin's hours versus AJ
and Magic are higher than both.
And Magic. AJ has always got a lot of hours.
Actually, let's see what Justin 76.
Magic's on 82, 81.
And AJ's 84, and Justin 76, Squishy 67. So I guess we just want it more, Rizzo. I think we just we want it more.
Simple. It's a simple
concerning
solution.
Thing though is that Sizz only has 5 hours past 2, so that's not many scrims from NRG.
He's not
that dude's. He's not their coach.
He's not. Sorry, sorry, Johnny is coaching now. That was
that was not your best work, CJ.
No, you don't know ball. CJ does not know ball.
Let's forget. Hey, delete this in the VOD.
Oh my days.
Let me see how many Johnny has then.
Can you confirm that Johnny was in our stream today?
Find his hours though.
Honestly, that's the best way to look at it. Look at coach hours, then you're only looking at scrim hours.
Yeah, I'm looking at scrim hours. I can't find
main menu hours. Now some of the coaches are probably grinding like ranked as well.
No way.
Not the retired coaches, like former pro retired coaches, no shot they're grinding ranked. But the ones who want to make it one day as a pro, they're probably grinding twos.
Yeah, Rizzo, you got to tell your dad to boot off the computer or something every now and then. Like that. That's insane.
Well, he hit 50K hours like a couple months ago. I can only imagine what the inside of that PC looks like.
He's at 334 past 2.
Okay, he's on his grind.
And 50K 720.
50,720.
But like, so he never closes the game. But does he play the game? Does he like just every time he's done playing just leave it, or does he just? Is it just main menu?
No, he doesn't close the game because he's playing all the time. All the time, yeah.
Okay.
He grinds.
On his grind.
He said it's clean. The inside of his PC is clean. Okay. At least he's taking a look at it.
All right, so
we're gonna need to revisit this next week. We've just exposed everybody's hours. Last time we did this with RG, they like cancelled their hours or hid their hours because we kept talking about it too much in the chatcast. So basically, all the players
said that? Is that what it was?
Well, he said that he hid it because we wouldn't stop talking about it in the chatcast. So probably all the players we just mentioned, like we're gonna need to revisit them next week. They're probably half hidden, just they want to be spied on.
We did groups. Now we got to finish predictions.
Oh, you want to go? Okay.
I mean, we got to. Give me your top 4, Johnny.
The top 4. Well, if Gen G are making it out of group, they've looked immaculate in playoffs, so I've got to have them going all the way to another final. But whether or not they win it, probably let's say Gen G second, because I've heard that they've been moving. So let's put them number 2. Winning. Who wants it the most? That's the real question. Oh man, I feel like FaZe might have a bounce back and just win again. They didn't win in the winter split last season though. So
I think there's a good chance FaZe is out in quarters though, as well, because I feel like they could get second place in Group B. Gen G gets first, and then they run into each other in quarters. And I think Gen G would probably.
I think FaZe are going to win the group though. I think they're going to win surely.
Yeah.
I think out of every group, I'm most confident in FaZe winning. Like out of all 4 groups. Because Gen G Complexity could go either way. B1 G2 could go either way. And then I think us, SSG and RG could go either way.
Well, Complexity are like the new, the new form finders. So I'll put them top 4. Let's go Complexity top 4. Yeah, another FaZe Gen G final. Complexity make a top 4.
Somebody said if FaZe gets first and Gen G gets second, they also meet in quarters.
I think that's more likely.
I think there's a good chance they be in quarters then.
Yeah, that could happen. I think Gen G's gonna win Group A, but if they don't, that would be crazy. Like running into FaZe Gen G quarters.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to consider. But yeah, I'm gonna back them to both make the final. The other semi-finalists, I've not calculated if this is possible, if my bracket's even possible, but
it's all possible because of
it's probably all possible because of the flips with second, third, right? I'll say who's gonna make a run? I think G2 will have a resurgent performance and make a top 4 because Gen G, FaZe Gen G, and then Complexity G2 in semis. That's for me.
I'm gonna go the same top 4, but I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go Complexity 1, G2 second, and then FaZe Gen G top 4.
Wow,
I don't hate it.
Complexity Gen G2.
I don't care about all the other teams. All I'm saying is Energy is a top 4 here this time.
Okay.
Short on followers, or
you say short on followers?
He's farming followers.
It's gonna dry him up. Let him cook. Sorry.
Any W's in chat?
Nah, this is definitely like part of Rizzo's new content plan. Like he's predicting them to do like the top 4, because then if it happens, video. It's there. Like it's pretty.
You were a diehard fan. You were there from the start.
I told you guys. That's like T-Bates. I told you Alpha was a top 5 player, whatever. You said that 6 months ago, bro.
He's cashing it in right after he gets the top 2. Like 6 months later. When he wasn't even clearly the best player. It's amazing. Amazing.
T-Bates predicts like 5 teams out of the 8 to win. He's like, I told you that team was going to win. It's like,
he does have a lot of teams. He does. But wait, Retals, so who's your top 4?
I'm going to go...
Alpha
G2-1.
Alpha first time chat. He said I knew I'd actually
start
playing the game again.
He dropped the first time chat for that one. That's amazing. Alpha, you're not allowed to give teammates like secret information like that.
Yeah, no, please don't. Please never prove teammates wrong or right ever again.
I'm sure he didn't tell him. Motivation definitely struggling, but now he's
the FIFA client stopped working. Couldn't launch it.
Nice.
Oh dear. Right, hold on. Retals, top 4. You had who winning?
G2 won. I'm gonna go phase 2. And then third, fourth, I'm going to give to I'm gonna go complexity and I'll say Genji. That's what I'll go
Did
for
we
now.
all have the same top 4? Me, you, and CJ, and then Rizzo's the unique, the special snowflake.
I'm just a little quirky.
You're just super quirky, Rizzo.
Yep. Just being a
That's
little
what
silly.
I got for now. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
Looking forward to it.
This regional is the most unpredictable thing I've ever looked at. I'm just staring at it and I don't even know how groups are gonna go.
What's the craziest top 4 team? Like, can you what team can you see?
The
getting
worst
top
team
4?
that I could see getting top 4.
Yeah, good say.
That's a much better way to say it. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Okay, so we'll go by groups. Genji, Complexity could both get top 4. Dig Coin, no. FaZe, Fury could both get top 4. Shopify Knights, no.
You don't
V1,
think
G2
Shopify?
could, no. G2, V1 could both get top 4. Axel, no. I mean, dude, it's probably us or NRG,
Yeah.
which
The
is
basis seeding, yeah.
right. So anyone inside the top 9, I could see. But
9
anyone
top
outside
4
I don't.
team region.
Group D could turn into the super group. He'd have 3 of them in the top 4.
There's a world. I mean, it's not likely, but there's a world.
It almost happened in Europe where everybody was calling the BDS Oxygen group the group of death, and then we almost had 3 of Group A in the top 4 if Sonics beat Oxygen. But obviously, Oxygen came back to win that. Yeah, turns out it was actually Group A that was a group of death all along. Who's this? Okay, final question. Who's this sleeper group of death? If we're calling Group B the group of death right now, what's the sleeper group of death that might just have the 3 top
D.
4 teams? Is it Group D? Think so?
Yeah.
It's D.
D.
It's D.
I don't think
If they all show up.
I don't think the other 2 teams in Group A and C have winning potential or deep run potential.
Yeah, it's fair.
Out of those 4, Axel. I like that team system. I like the way they play. I just don't think they have the talent for it, unfortunately. Which is very rare in North America that a team is better systematically than talent-wise. Doesn't happen. But shout out Ronsky, and he wrote it up.
Yeah. Group D easily has the best top 3 if they're playing at their best.
Agreed. But that Group B top 3 is no joke.
That is, Shopify is good. On their day.
On their day.
All right. Is that I think that's about it. I think that's everything. Unless you guys have any final closing thoughts, I think it's time to wrap this one up.
It's a wrap.
My only
It's a wrap,
closing
I
thought
think.
is Papa CJ said, "Hey, can you say hello to Retals for me? He's my favorite."
Wait, okay, before we go, let me see if I can find the picture of me and Papa CJ really quick. I think my mom sent it to me not too long ago. Are you in here? Let's see. If it's in my
I have
photos.
a picture with Papa CJ too, actually.
Let's all pull him up.
Where did my mom send
I was
this?
wearing my dad outfit for like the skits and stuff, and then CJ's dad walked in looking exactly like me.
The New Balance trainers on.
The same exact fit.
Okay, I can't find it, but Papa CJ is my favorite parent in the Rocket League scene.
Wow, with
Obviously.
Papa Rizzo in chat.
Papa Rizzo's top
Ooh.
5. It goes Papa CJ, Papa Rizzo are Papa Mist. Me and Papa Mist are boys. Dan's dad's the goat. So that's 4. I need a 5th. I don't know.
This is going to cause some serious drama, actually.
This is gonna be
More than
drama.
anything else you've said this
This
show.
is gonna be in the parents group chat.
Oh,
It's gonna-
Calm dad.
Yes.
Goat. Yeah, first killer's dead.
Okay. All right. I think that's about time.
Anyways.
To wrap it up. Yeah. I appreciate you all watching Chalkcast of what is this, episode 27, number 27. Thank you everybody for watching. If you guys missed any part of this, you can check it out on Spotify. I almost said Shopify. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. I will tweet out when all those links are available. Thank you to Retals for being our special guest, and thank you to CJ and Johnny for co-hosting with me. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a cute picture.
Aww.